The twin suns of Varelia burned low on the horizon, bathing the marble spires of the capital city in crimson light. The grand hall of the Oral Dominion buzzed with tension as delegates from 27 star systems gathered for the first peace summit in 100 years. The galaxy had bled for too long, and tonight, the fighting was supposed to end. At the center of it all stood Queen Seralith of Varelia, a being of beauty and power, her skin shimmering like liquid sapphire, her eyes like fragments of starlight. Her crown pulsed with neural light, connected directly to the planetary core's network, a symbol that she was not merely a ruler, but the living consciousness of her world. Across from her, standing tall but out of place among the alien elite, was a man in a simple black uniform, Captain Elias Mercer, representative of the Terran Confederation, humanity's ambassador to the Dominion. He was the first human ever allowed in this chamber. And tonight, his presence had already sparked whispers. Beginning, the human among stars. As the meeting commenced, Seralith's voice echoed through the hall, melodic yet sharp. "We gather not as enemies," she said, "but as survivors. The wars have cost us billions. Even the strongest among us has paid a price." Her gaze drifted toward Elias. "Even those who were not born of our stars." Elias inclined his head. "Peace doesn't come cheap, Your Majesty, but it's worth the cost." The murmurs grew louder. Some alien noble sneered. "The human speaks as if he understands sacrifice," one delegate hissed. "His species breeds like vermin," another scoffed. "They call their homeworld a death world, a place so savage even their children fight to survive." Elias ignored them. He had expected contempt. Humans were the newcomers, the unpredictable species from a violent world. But what they lacked in grace, they made up for in will. Seralith silenced the room with a single gesture. "Enough. The human has earned his place here." Her tone carried authority, but beneath it, a strange warmth. Elias noticed it too. There was something in her eyes when she looked at him. Curiosity, yes, but something deeper. Something unspoken. The middle. Secrets beneath the crown. Hours passed as the council debated treaties and territorial claims. But the real battle began during the private session afterward. When the other delegates left, Seralith turned to Elias. "You stood your ground well, Captain. Few do under such scrutiny." He smiled faintly. "I've been insulted by better creatures than them." She laughed softly, a sound like wind through crystal. "Humans and their humor. You hide pain behind sarcasm." Elias leaned on the railing, looking out over the glowing city below. "Maybe. Or maybe it's the only way we've learned to survive." Seralith's expression softened. "You fascinate me, Elias Mercer. Your people were never meant to reach the stars, and yet here you stand, defiant, unyielding. Why is that?" He met her gaze. "Because we never stop trying, even when the universe tells us we shouldn't." Silence hung between them, heavy, electric. Then she said quietly, "I envy that." Elias blinked. "Envy?" Seralith touched the base of her crown. "My people do not live for ourselves. The neural crown connects us all. Every thought, every feeling, shared. I cannot be alone, even when I wish to be." He studied her face. "Sounds lonely." "It is," she whispered. "When I speak, 1,000 voices echo in my mind. But when I look at you, I hear only one. My own." Elias's heart skipped. He knew what she was implying and the danger of it. A queen could never fall for an outsider. It was forbidden by every code of the Dominion. "Your Majesty," she interrupted, her tone trembling with emotion she could no longer hide.
"Seralith."
"When it's just us, call me Seralith." He hesitated, then said softly, "Then call me Elias." The Hall of Revelation. The next day, the final treaty was to be signed before the entire Galactic Council. The Grand Hall was filled to capacity, hundreds of delegates, soldiers, and nobles watching from marble balconies. Elias stood beside Seralith as the peace accords were presented. Everything was going smoothly, until the Vornic regent, one of the Queen's oldest rivals, stepped forward. Before we sign, the regent sneered, I have a question for Her Majesty. The humans destroyed 2 of our outposts last cycle. How can we trust them? The crowd erupted in agreement. Serelith raised a hand, silencing them. Captain Mercer has proven humanity's intentions are honorable. Has he? The regent mocked. Or has he bewitched you, my queen? There are whispers already that the great Serelith has fallen under a human spell. The hall went deathly still. All eyes turned to her. Elias clenched his fists. That's enough. But before he could speak, Serelith stood tall and said clearly, You are wrong. She stepped closer to Elias, her voice echoing through the chamber. He has not bewitched me. He has reminded me what it means to be alive. The hall gasped. Serelith turned fully toward Elias, her luminous eyes glistening. You asked why I envy humans. It is because you love without fear, even when it defies reason. So I will speak as they do, plainly and without restraint. She took a deep breath. I wish you were my husband, human. The hall froze. The silence was so deep that even the planetary engines seemed to stop. Elias's eyes widened. Serelith. The regent roared. Treason. Blasphemy. But Serelith ignored him. Her voice was steady, proud. Let them call it what they will. My people see through borrowed eyes. I wish to see through my own, and they will see that love is not weakness. Elias took her hand, knowing the risk. If you do this, they'll turn against you. She smiled sadly. Then I will stand with you. And if the galaxy burns for it, so be it. The rebellion and the sacrifice. Within hours, chaos erupted. The Vornic regent declared the queen compromised. Fleets moved against the palace. Elias and Serelith fled through the Undercity as explosions lit the sky. Your Majesty, Serelith, there's still time to surrender. Elias urged. No, she said fiercely. They will destroy you. They will erase the one thing that made me feel alive. Her neural crown flickered as she fought the mental pull of her own people. They're trying to override my will. They're inside my mind. Elias grabbed her shoulders. Fight it. Her eyes glowed blinding white. They are too many. He took her face in his hands. Then take my mind instead. She stared at him in shock. You would do that? Fuse with me? Better me than lose you. Without hesitation, she placed the crown upon his head. The neural energy surged through both of them, linking their thoughts, memories, and hearts. He saw her entire life, her loneliness, her strength, her longing for freedom. She saw his, the pain, the wars, the unbreakable will of humanity. Their minds became one. Together, they unleashed a wave of psychic energy that spread across Varelia, severing the control of the regent and the traitorous nobles. Ships froze mid-battle. Soldiers dropped their weapons. For the first time in centuries, the queen's voice was her own, amplified by the human heart now beating within her mind. No one commands me. Not anymore. The rebellion fell in hours, ending the legacy of 2 hearts. Days later, the council reconvened, this time in silence and respect. The treaty was signed. The war was over. Elias stood beside Serelith, his mind still linked.